What's up, guys? Welcome to Box to Box Football, and we're back here with part two of the Champions League prediction last 16. So, if you haven't seen part one, go check it out. We'll leave the link on the top or somewhere here. We're gonna leave it. Go watch that, guys, and then come back here and watch this one too. But let's get into it right now. But before we start, a big change has happened in the Champions League, and it seems like a lot of teams won't be getting the home field advantage. But Jack, do you want to add a bit to that now on where the
Yeah,
games are going to be played?
for this kind of part two video, obviously we're only looking at four games. I think it's only affecting two of the fixtures. The Atletico Madrid Chelsea game is going to be played at the Arena Națională, which is in Bucharest in Romania. So obviously you don't have the Wanda Metropolitana advantage there if you're Atletico Madrid. And then I believe the only other game, because Lazio is being played at the Olimpico in Rome, and Atalanta, I believe, is still being played in Italy, which it is in Bergamo. And then, Mönchengladbach Man City is the Puskás Arena in Budapest in Hungary. So it's more
English teams.
It's more of a German thing, I think, because I think the idea from Germany is that they don't want that kind of crossover. But obviously, I don't know. I'm not totally up to date with it, but I guess maybe in Madrid as well, they're not. It's not.
So what it was is that it's because of the new variant that came into England. So teams do not want to come to England in case of any contamination. No, teams can come to England, but they don't want any English coming to their country. So that's the case. So it started out with the Germans. I think it was Leipzig. Leipzig said no, we're not taking Liverpool, and then it just became a thing that the English teams will play the. But I think that goes in favor of the English teams. If you look at it.
No, not really, because the home field advantage is huge.
No, because Liverpool are still going to play at Anfield, and the English teams will still play in England.
Oh, really? Because you told me that Arsenal won't be playing.
Arsenal, for some reason, were playing in Rome, and the Europa League is a different. Arsenal are playing like two different legs somewhere else.
That just makes no sense. But you have an interesting take on like the whole Champions League system and like how it is. But do you want to add more to that?
So as I said, I think because of where we're at with the coronavirus and what it's doing, I felt like maybe last year's format should have been done where it should have just been one game, neutral venue, knockout, and let's go. Because what's the point in having two legs in two neutral venues? Like the home and away advantage or the beauty of it is taken. There's no fans either, so I don't see any point. Or they take all the teams to one country. But the thing is, with doing that, the Euros is also down the line. So I could see why they wouldn't want to do that. But I would have just thought one game reduces the fixture congestion as well.
Yeah, but do you not feel like the legitimacy of the competition? Like, I do understand, like last year they did it for the semi-final and then final. I get that. But to go quarterfinals, last 16 and semi-finals, like that's a lot.
But this virus has affected the legitimacy of football anyway. We were playing top flight football in August and June and July. That's not normal. We should be having pre-seasons.
Every title or cup or anything, you're winning with an asterisk. You're winning with that asterisk. Like James, I know we're watching Skip and Shannon, Undisputed, all this kind of stuff. Like LeBron only won because of the bubble, right? LeBron only won because of the bubble. Lakers only won because of the bubble. It's the same thing for me. Liverpool won the title. It's not that same feeling of raising that trophy in Anfield in front of all those fans. So I tend to agree with you there about the knockout thing as well. And the fixture congestion as well is a very, very good point, especially with the Euros coming in kind of a weird year for it as well. So I don't know, man.
But let's get into the games now. But first of all, before we get into it, as Shannon always says, Lakers in 5. So no matter what, Lakers in 5. So let's start off with the first game, and it's Atletico Madrid against Chelsea. This is a bit of a sticky one, but I think we know where we're both going. Since Jed, you are a massive La Liga fan, Mr. like Mr. La Liga, as I call him. You want to start off with this game?
A month ago, before this whole change, I would have told you let's go straight because of one, the venue change, and two, Lampard. But Tuchel coming in has made things a bit more unpredictable. Regardless, Atletico Madrid are one of the most informed teams in Europe. I think they'll go through, but I don't think it'll be as straightforward as it would have been to me maybe when the draw was made. That's what I'm going with. Tuchel could cause a lot of problems for them. Maybe the change in system. The Chelsea players seem a bit more rejuvenated than they did maybe 2 months ago under Lampard. So I think it'll be a tighter game than it would have been. But I still think Atletico will just squeeze through.
Jack?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree with you. Atletico Madrid do not strike me as a team who are just going to absolutely blow people out. We know that, Suarez is kind of feeling a bit, use the word rejuvenated. Talk about rejuvenated, fire under his ass for Luis Suarez. Like, I think he felt a bit disrespected, being kind of pushed out of Barcelona, and he's come back with a vengeance this year. Tuchel, if you look at the games he's managed so far for Chelsea, they've not been blowing teams out either. It's not been this great attacking performance, dominating the game kind of performance. Defensively, it's where it's been impressive. So I think that I still back Atletico, but I don't think over the course of 2 legs, I don't think they're going to win by 3-4 goals. That they'll probably win overall, maybe on away goals, whatever the hell that even means anymore, or even by 1 or 2 goals. But I've got to take Atletico.
If I'm being honest, I understand Tuchel's come in and he's done a decent job, but Chelsea haven't blown anyone away. Chelsea haven't done anything special during that time. Atletico Madrid are the best team in La Liga. They are on course to get 100 points, which is if they if they keep the same pace that they kept for the first half of the season, during this half of the season, they will get 100 points, which is absolutely frightening. The defense is absolutely brilliant. They got Thomas Lemar. They got Thomas Lemar playing back to where he used to be. He's back in the center of midfield. Marcus Llorente, he's came out of absolute nowhere, and they got Luis Suarez just balling out. This Atletico Madrid side have still not lost a 2-legged affair in the Champions League, other than anything to do with Cristiano Ronaldo and Real Madrid. Technically, last year they didn't lose a 2-legged affair. This Chelsea team, I don't believe, have the tactical nous to do this Atletico Madrid side. Going forward, they don't score enough goals, and going back, they're going to give goals away. You've seen the goal that they gave away against Sheffield United. Could you imagine with a player like Luis Suarez sniffing around there? There is going to be chances for this Atletico Madrid team. I don't see a blowout, but I see Atletico Madrid going through comfortably in 2 legs.
Yeah, and that core, that's the main thing. I'll talk about that forever. That Atletico Madrid core, manager's been there forever. That team knows, they know each other better than, I don't know, any other squad in Europe, maybe.
Yeah. They've been around the block.
Yeah.
Go on, Jack.
The thing is, the team have a philosophy, and every single player in the starting 11, on the bench, in the reserves, they all buy into that philosophy.
Right.
There's no questions asked. You have a job, you do it. Players like Correa, who seem like just a normal winger, they all buy into the philosophy of what Diego Simeone has put in it. If I wasn't a Madrid fan, I would really want them to go on and achieve a lot, just out of pure admiration of what I saw of them and where they're at. But I'm supposed to dislike them, so it won't be ethical of me to say I would want them. But if they weren't playing Madrid in all those Champions League finals in the past years, I would have wanted them to win.
They probably would have won. But speaking of Madrid, let's talk about Madrid now. This is Jed's time to properly shine. Let's go. Atletico Madrid. No, not Atletico Madrid. Atalanta versus Real Madrid. Now, Jack, let's just leave this down to Jed. Jed, take it away.
Oh, man. So, as I said, when this draw was made, I was wary of Atalanta, seeing what they did last year. But I was like, you know what? They're a very attacking team. They'll open up and we'll get it. But in the last month, since the turn of 2021, what has happened to our squad with the depletion? Players I know that the lack of preseason has affected everyone's team. It shouldn't be an excuse. But our players are just dropping like flies, left, right, centre. Hazard's out. Ramos is out. We have our midfield. Kroos, Modric, Casemiro is our midfield. We have no other alternative to that anymore, which is bad. You shouldn't be relying on Modric and Kroos for 90-minute games every single game. The option of Valverde should be there. Isco is fit, but how fit is he? I don't know where that man's head is at. There was an article that came out in Spain that the fans were blasting him. He took about 2.5 minutes to get ready to warm up off the bench. He was doing his hair, tying his hair back. his head's not there. There's been rumors of him. I think this is his last spell at Madrid. He's not gonna survive the summer, especially with the debts that the team is in and the players that we want to bring in. Isco will definitely be used as collateral. But we've received some positive comebacks from Vasquez and Carvajal. They've been declared fit, but Carvajal's like glass, so I could imagine him just getting injured within the next 2 to 3 weeks again. Militao is not reliable.
Right.
We bought him for 50 million, and I don't feel confident with him at the back. With Varane, especially Varane, who he can follow, but he can't lead for some reason. Ramos isn't in the big games. Varane seems a bit, he doesn't know what he's doing.
He's a bit passive, isn't he? A bit standoffish.
He needs to hold Militao's hand, but Varane needs someone to hold his hand. And with the attack, it's Karim Benzema, and that's it. If Benzema's not scoring, there's no outlet because he drops and then he's providing to Asensio. He's providing to Vinicius. There's I don't know what to say about Vinicius.
Jed, I hate to push you, but who do you have going through?
We'll squeeze by the skin of our teeth.
That's
on the pedigree that we are Real Madrid. But other than that, in the next round,
I want to add to that, but I want to, since Jack is the Serie A guy, Jack, go on, hit me. Who do you have going through?
So I've got Real Madrid, skin of the teeth. I totally agree with nearly everything Jed said there from a Real Madrid perspective. Like how many of your defenders are being rumored to leave, or hurt or have some sort of issue? Like it's not ideal. Atalanta have not been kind of where they've been at over the last 24 months, over the last 5 or 6 game weeks. They've fallen off a little bit. But one thing I'll always say about Atalanta, in Serie A, and I'd push to say up there with kind of the likes of Atletico Madrid, it's a real team effort. Gasperini is a very, very good manager. We looked last season about the amount of goals they scored. I think, wasn't it over 90 goals, some over 80 goals, something crazy like that. But no top scorer, really. No standout 25 plus goal scorer. It's all kind of, 5 or 6 guys who can all score about 10 to 20 goals. Zapata, Ilicic, Luis Muriel, all these kinds of guys. So Real Madrid will probably get by on the pedigree, better star power, individual moments, all this stuff. But you've got to be wary of a fired up team who's coming to.
That's what I'm scared of. What you just stated about Atlanta. We struggle against teams that come in a unit. Shakhtar, Borussia. Yeah. But Inter, when we played Inter, they were just doing their own thing. They weren't on the same page, and we tore them apart. But Shakhtar, a Shakhtar team whose whole first team was out due to COVID, they came and they took the game to us and played as a team, and they beat us convincingly, both home and away. So that's what I'm scared of with Atlanta as well.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, this Real Madrid team should not be in this draw. They should not be in the last 16. For them to lose to a Shakhtar team who had, 10 players out, Jed. Me and Jed were going back and forth with it. 10 players out, for them to lose at home to that Shakhtar team, lose to Shakhtar back-to-back, weren't really great throughout the whole of the group stage, but they are Real Madrid. In big moments, they pull it out. Now, I think a week ago, Jed called me, and I think they went 1-0 down. Who did you go 1-0 down to? Real Madrid.
This was against, was it Huesca?
Yeah, Huesca. So she went 1-0 down to Huesca, and Jed called me, Jed, we're 1-0 down. It's done. Our season is done. I checked later on to see the results, realized Real Madrid won the game 2-1. It wasn't goals from Benzema, it was goals from Varane. And the fact of the matter is that Real Madrid, they're not reliant on one guy. Everyone is able to come together and find a way to win. This won't be the prettiest tie for Real Madrid. In fact, I can see this being a last-minute goal as it's like you always do from a center back or even Vinicius scoring. It's not going to be pretty, but I see Real Madrid going through here. Just like Jed said, by the skin of their teeth. It's going to be a tough game. Atlanta haven't been playing well this year. They even lost their captain Gomez through some politics, and they haven't been amazing this year. But again, I have Real Madrid going through. But let's move on now, and let's talk about Lazio versus Bayern Munich. And Jack, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, sure. This is a trap game for Bayern Munich, and I'm still undecided whether I'm going to pick Bayern here. So I'm going to kind of talk it out and see where I hit come the end. Serie A, Lazio have won their last 7 games, undefeated in their last 8. Scary, scary team. Honestly, I think how Lazio do in this Champions League affair is going to be solely dependent on how they do in Serie A. They're playing away at Inter Milan tomorrow. AC Milan lost today. Juventus lost today. If Inter can win, that's a huge, huge victory for them. But they're playing the most informed team in Italy right now in Lazio. I think we've seen already this season from Bayern that they can sometimes lapse concentration a little bit. And I think when you are the true kind of big dog in your league, like we've seen with PSG earlier this season as well, it is kind of easy to go into games, go into pre-match dressing room, chats and all that kind of thing going, oh, we're going to win this game with PSG, we're Bayern. I think that Ciro Immobile scoring a couple of penalties, maybe a couple of kind of goals from set pieces, something like that. Lazio are going to be difficult to beat. I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to go with Bayern. But I'm just saying this is going to be the type of game where if it's close during the second leg and Lazio might even go through and beat Bayern, I'm not going to be too surprised.
Jed?
So I think 3 weeks ago or a month ago, I watched Lazio versus Roma, where Lazio just steamrolled Luis Alberto and then Immobile. I remember that. I was like, okay, Lazio look a bit good. And I know that they've won like their last 4 or 5 games on a bounce, and they're climbing up.
7. Won the last 7, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so they're on good form, but I know Bayern lapse concentration. Maybe Bayern will go behind by 1 goal in the first leg, or Lazio will really put it on them. But I do think Bayern would overcome them based on their overwhelming strength. I think it won't be as easy as a game. I don't think Bayern Munich will steamroll Lazio in any respects, but I do think Bayern will be able to get over the line.
Let me say here first, and I want everyone to get this right. Bayern is not as good as everyone make him out to be. I'm not gonna come here and say, oh yeah, just because that was last year. Teams will figure you out, and also they and like you could get weaker. They lost Thiago Alcantara, their most creative midfielder. Just overall, their lapse of concentration isn't there. Boateng and Alaba, they're just not the same guys. You got Sula coming in there. This is not the same unit that we seen last year. It was 2 weeks ago they went out to a second division team in the cup, and that's not like Bayern, who usually go to the final and go on to win that competition. Again, I like what Jed's saying here. Lazio aren't a side that we should look over, but what possibly could happen is they may take a 2-goal lead, and then you see Bayern showing their European dominance and like their pedigree, but ultimately going on to win this tie. I do have Bayern winning, but I don't think I have Bayern to win the whole thing. And to be fair, we'll talk about who we predict to win the Champions League in probably the next round. But again, I have Bayern Munich going through here. But let's talk about the last game, and that's Mönchengladbach against Man City, flying Man City. Jed, do you want to start this off?
I know Mönchengladbach should be struggling. They haven't been on the greatest of form, and even if they were, they are not getting past this Man City. I know Man City have had a history of hiccups in the Champions League, but I think I think that's been due to their defense. But they fixed their defense. So this year, I'm expecting no excuses. I expect them the very minimum, the semi-finals. So I think they beat Mönchengladbach very convincingly. Because when looking at the group game between Madrid and Borussia, so the first game they were 2-0 up and we scraped back. But the second game, when we had to win to qualify, the levels in class, as good as a team that they were playing together, and they have a plea.
Real Madrid went up like 2-0 in the first 25 minutes or 30 minutes, right?
25 minutes, yeah. We scored 2 goals within like 5 minutes, something like that. But Thuram and Plea and those players, they're good, they're great, and they work well as a team. But there's a certain level of football they just can't get to, and Man City are at that level, and they won't be able to get to that. Even if they'll try and they'll push them, but I can see City going through easily.
Jack?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like I say, I think there's a serious disconnect here in quality of players. I think with with the Lazio Bayern conversation, it's like Ciro Immobile can be like a golden boot winner in any league given the time. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic can be renowned as one of the better midfielders in the world. Luis Alberto, you can kind of reel off these names where you go, some of these guys could maybe play for Bayern. It's not that way with Borussia Mönchengladbach. There's no real Mönchengladbach players that are going to make this City team. The only way I can see City not progressing here is a COVID outbreak in Manchester. That's like the only thing I can think of. Like, this one, I'm trying to think of ways to give like Mönchengladbach some credit and like, oh, maybe if they do this, maybe if they do that. City are the best team in the world right now, playing in terms of form and just ability. I don't know who's stopping this team, let alone Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Again, I can't really add anything to it. I love what Jed said about it. City really have no excuse this season because they've sorted out their defense. And I remember we had a video a week ago after they went to Anfield and won 4-1. And I said that this is Man City's best chance to win the Champions League. I think that they've sorted out their defense and also their approach. For some reason, they always get these favorable draws. You know, I've never seen Man City like get like a weird. I don't let the Jack. We're not saying that, but again, they're gonna go through. For City, it's not about this game. It's about what happens in the quarterfinals. And like, can they break that semi-final barrier? Because if they can't do that, then psychologically, I feel like that's going to kill them for years to come. Because this is their best opportunity. They're flying right now, 16 games winning streak in all competitions. They're brilliant. Man City going through. But to be fair, guys, I really, really enjoyed that. You know, Jed, how did you find that today? Good.
Oh yeah, it was fine. It was alright.
Yeah.
It's just a reminder of how thin of a squad we have, though. Just having to look back.
But it just shows you like football could change. Like we recorded the part one, and then Neymar gets injured, and now it just flips over this whole Barcelona PSG game. That could happen. Imagine if Benzema goes down, or let's say Ederson goes down for Man City. Anything could happen in that time, and with the COVID stuff, there could be a change, but. Right. We never know, guys. But we've been talking to Box Football. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.